this is what I'm gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing a documentary ish, because it's just gonna be videos focused on psychology of memes, which is not exactly done yet, but this video, it makes a good introduction, even though it doesn't. It just shows memes and it says that we can get connected through memes. We can produce memes ourselves and our unique perspectives, but at the same time, memes in my life kind of created so much trouble. But I immediately say that we have to discuss meme apocalypse the same way that I discussed the women apocalypse, in kind of a failure fashion, because I really just touched dating as the most destructive thing. And so today we're gonna do the bad guys. What are the terrible things in the world that deserve to be looked at and be aware of, that bad things are happening or can happen in the future, and we have to think our way through so we don't crash into a tree. We have to imagine that we're crashing into a tree, which is pretty entertaining, but otherwise we have to avoid the crisis by trying to predict it. It's pretty fun looking at the worst case scenarios. So I think the memes are popular enough to where it's very much important to understand what is the worst thing that can happen. And for me, I just find it really infiltrated friendships. But relationships are easy to infiltrate already, easy to break down. But for me, I look around and everything everyone else is doing is just looking up memes. It's the biggest drug that has invaded my life of other people, while I myself have never touched the thing too deeply. So now that I'm forced to touch it, now that it's popular enough, I will do it in a way that I would have to understand where to place memes in my life and how to treat this cancer, I would say. I don't find it very, very much amusing. I'm taking it as an introduction, right? Memes are introduction to things in the internet, right? And memes are the most easiest way to see new things. It's like an easy landscaping, but at the same time, I spend so much time watching videos. Even though I'm kind of running out of videos to watch and people to watch, so anything can happen. I could change my view around, but I still think it's just an introduction media where you see nice things and you can go either direction and belong somewhere if you're not creating memes. However, in the end of consuming too much memes, well, it's a problem. You're being unproductive, I think. Now, productivity is a big bad guy. It happens in gaming too, where it's really hard to tell whether you are productive or not. When you're enjoying the game, it's obviously really bad if you're not enjoying the game. If you're playing bad games, for example, that's stupid. You can review bad games and make memes out of them, make people stay away from them. But other than that, it really has to have a purpose. You might be looking for some specific experience when it comes to gaming or entertainment. But to squeeze productivity, it's very important to know whether you're gonna be able to be a part of that game. Right? You're gonna be able to make your own spin on it. And this is why Minecraft is the best game, because it's the most productive game. It's something you can actually get into. Boruto, that's a meme. It's boring. Naruto is not actually bold. It doesn't translate. It's just boring Naruto. It's just something you don't watch. And I made my own branch just before Boruto came out, to the point where I don't care. Infinite Tsukuyomi is much more interesting concept. The dream world, in reality, which exists, is a incredible concept. Like, is dream world actually real? And we just psychologically cannot open ourselves up to even have telepathy or other superpowers that we could have, but we just don't know how to do it, or we're not connected, and we are all gods and have to figure out how to live with a legacy system of creating as much product. So the god is like, okay, you created this much, now you have to live with it in the next life. Some weird shit. I don't know how the world works, but I can at least speculate on the possibilities, which are very interesting. Yeah, one of the biggest bad guys, I just don't know how to work. The only thing I found is like it's very fun to come back to the stuff that you have already done, extract value from it, polish it a little bit, because you learn new things, learn new perspectives, so you can add to the product that you did in the past all the time, or at least enjoy for what you have done. You have to keep your work safe and collected, and you always have to come back to it. Some people are forced to do it because they get popular, and if they become a meme, so they have to automatically do the same thing over and over again. Is come back to the point where they become popular. It's kind of interesting. It makes it even more natural. It's like a flower that blossoms one day, and you have to remember that specific day, and come back to it, and the flower doesn't blossom twice, which is an amazing concept. Spreading tech, proper employment. Proper employment doesn't exist. That's why it's a bad guy. It's improper employment. There is no way to actually climb stairs and gradually get a job, a better and better job, but gradually get a job, or at least just get a job. There is no such thing like you go through school, but then you still have to accumulate thrust and break through a ginormous wall of people rejecting you. We don't trust you. Establishing trust is the problem behind this whole thing. People have huge walls, and they don't trust you by nature. But to break down these walls, they demand enormous amount of data that doesn't make sense to provide in a way that it's asked. Like, the way that you provide data is directly. You directly show things that you can do. So it makes no sense that papers that you earn from school can be beneficial at all in getting a job. Past experience of trying to get a job, that is better, but otherwise it's so stupid. The spreading tech is one of the jobs that people should consider taking out there, because people need technology, right? So all you do is just walk around and figure out what is the level of knowledge of a person, and what is the level that they should be at when using technology, right? Some people just don't know how to use a phone or a computer, so they should be introduced into all this new world that's always popping up. But I never, because of improper employment, I've never really found a way to employ myself that way. I just definitely see the demand. It is there. You can help people out quite a bit, but at the same time, it's annoying. You help people out, though they don't appreciate it that much. They just want the cheapest option available. I don't know. Or you get nothing out of it, it's annoying. The money terrain is just so complicated. It is its own bad guy. Because where's the source of money? I found out that the way you determine the source is when you do something productive, something that creates value, and that value is bought by money. Money just snaps it from your fingers. You have mined some coal and it turned into money. At that process, because it was possible for coal to become money in the first place, that's what creates value. And that's where money is actually coming from. It doesn't come from banks. Yes, paper comes from banks, but it's like the combination of paper and value is what makes money what it is. But then, as you're equipped with this first understanding, prime understanding, you have to scope through entire money terrain and see how the sources interact together, right? And how people interact. How close to a source you have to be to actually feel safe of what you're doing in life. And is there something bad that you can do? Like, something you can discover here. It's very interesting. I kind of summarized how men and women behave. It's really tough because I don't actually know the life of women to comment on it. But men are the ones that learn how to survive. Women just come over and they just copy the strategy, right? Or live within that strategy, which is kind of a weird thing by itself. I think every person should be somewhat independent as much as possible, so they would be flexible leaving that person in the first place, and they wouldn't look for another person who's gonna give dependence, total dependence. We celebrate independence, right? So that's a very big topic that I can't even open up properly, can't even introduce. I just know there's a huge difference, right? And when it comes to talking a woman apocalypse, which once I learn about women, I can start, figuring out what is the worst case scenario here. When it comes to meme apocalypse, which is the new thing that I'm going to be discussing, it isn't that bad as the change of relationships, but the most notable thing that I've been discussing is just dating, right? Anything else, anything deeper than that, I couldn't get to. So World War Women, I don't think they're successful episodes that much. It's just, yes, men are suffering more, and I guess there are other problems. I don't think that I have discussed anything substantial here, actually. The only thing that I would have been excited about is dating is rigged, because it doesn't work. People are not pushed into groups discussing things, and eventually it's like, yeah, we're spending time together successfully, so we should come together. We're not even searching for places like this properly, at least. So internet groups, like, I was very excited. Like, Discord felt right. It functioned just the way you would want to interact in the internet. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like waiting until Discord is actually uh, properly introduced to people or something. I don't know, but I guess it's never gonna work because dating doesn't work. But at the same time, we have internet, and the world of internet is a little bit different when it comes to dating as well. So it's very hard to tell what's gonna happen. I just know it was never worth it for me to get out there and seek relationships. I was never doing that, and I saw it as the most broken thing that could potentially create a war in the future if you look deeper into this. But never. Now I'm really doubting that women actually can start a war like men do. But at the same time, it's just an interesting thing to think about. What's happening as there are more women in the world than there are men? What is happening? Like this gay apocalypse, this leftism apocalypse that some people are fighting against, but some people are like, yeah, that's fine. They just give up. What is this, right? You don't like gays? You're homophobic? Yes. Yes, I am. First of all, they don't make children. It feels like a dysfunctional relationship because I'm straight, so I cannot possibly give you a perspective of not homophobe. I don't have that. I haven't evolved that deeply to appreciate gays, so I can't do it. Okay, I will always be repelled by the idea because it's too new, it's too unexplored, and it makes no sense. And the reason why I think dating is rigged is there are experienced people who actually sort of enjoy dating, but a noob like me would never get anything out of it. And it's a rigged system because there are rich people who have everything they need, but they don't want to share with anyone. So this is a truly baddest guy ever is sharing. Broken completely, right? So we're stuck here. So with a lot of bad guys to discuss for this whole season. That's all I've been doing right now, is introducing all the bad guys. No, Selena Gomez is not a bad guy, and creepers are not bad. Well, they're monsters. But it's better to always look at the worst case scenario and discuss that. So everything that actually happens in the world is actually good if you understand what the talk is about and you don't overreact. It's like you can be happy riding a car and like, oh, we haven't had an accident. That's amazing, right? It's like nothing bad happened. You can be happy about it. But what's even cooler is just the possibilities. Figuring those out is very interesting, and fighting bad guys. That's what it feels like when you prevent problems from happening. Yep. That's a meme right there. The best meme ever is Rebecca Black. 2011. This video is 2017. Now, I'm really curious on what are going to be the memes that are popular right now, and what is the psychology of memes. So immediately I'm introducing this this sub-documentary about memes and how I'm going to drill into them while most people bounce from memes. That's the behavior that I think they're doing. They're just laughing at the memes, while the memes laugh back at them. Is the most don't laugh, the biggest don't laugh challenge in the world right now. And I've actually been discussing that PewDiePie's idea of you laugh, you lose is like one of the most brilliant memes ever created. Because you do laugh. You do lose if you laugh at something that could potentially be serious and you don't take at least both perceptions of the same thing. The more perceptions you have of one thing, that's what makes it valuable in the first place. Otherwise, if you just have one perspective, yeah. Remember Rebecca Black this way. Another way that she is right now is she's amazing. She's the fourth personality right now out of the celebrities that I've introduced. Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Rebecca Black. There's one more. She's also technically a meme. In a way, to me, she's a meme. She's ridiculous. I'm not sure when I'm gonna introduce the last one, but like, here you go. Second video completed. See you guys next time.